Whispers of the Willow Tree. In the quiet town of Elmridge, where the streets smelled of blooming lavender and memories lingered like mist at dawn, lived a girl named Evelyn. She was a painter, not of fame but of feeling. Her canvases bore sunsets, oceans, and quiet, aching hearts. Every morning she visited the willow tree by the lake, a place her late grandmother had once described as where hearts speak without words. One chilly autumn morning, she found someone already sitting beneath it, a young man, lost in a book and wrapped in a world of his own. His name was Lucas, a writer who had just moved into town, escaping noise, chasing peace. Their first conversation was awkward. Evelyn spilled coffee on his notebook. He smiled instead of frowning, and offered her a tissue. From that moment, their mornings became shared rituals, coffee in one hand, dreams in the other. Lucas read her his stories. She showed him her paintings. They became each other's muses. She painted a piece titled The Boy Beneath the Willow. He wrote a story called The Girl with Sky in Her Eyes. As days turned into weeks, and weeks into months, they fell in love in the quietest, most genuine way, without fireworks, just with light. But love isn't always uninterrupted. Lucas received a letter. His book had been accepted by a major publisher in New York. It was everything he'd dreamed of, but it meant leaving Elmridge. Leaving Evelyn. "I have to go," he whispered under the willow tree, the wind catching his words like a sigh. Evelyn, her eyes glassy but steady, nodded. "Then go," she said, placing a small painting into his hands. It was the willow, and the two of them beneath it. "I'll come back," he promised. She smiled. "I'll wait." 2 years passed. Evelyn painted more than ever, but never at the willow. It was too full of echoes. Lucas's letters came often at first, then less so. She watched his name rise in bookstores, proud but quietly aching. She wondered if he had forgotten. She never wrote back. She didn't want to hold him back. Then one spring evening, just as the sun melted behind the hills, Evelyn returned to the willow tree for the first time in years. Someone was sitting there, holding an old, weathered painting. It was Lucas. "I didn't forget," he said. "But I had to become a man worthy of coming back." Evelyn's heart stuttered. "And are you?" she asked. He smiled, tears brimming in his eyes. "I hope you still love the boy beneath the willow." She stepped forward, took his hand, and whispered, "Only if he stays." And this time, he did. Letters beneath the oak tree. In a quiet English village surrounded by rolling hills and sleepy cottages, there stood an ancient oak tree at the edge of a meadow. It had watched over generations, and beneath its boughs, a love story unfolded, one written in ink and sealed with time. Emma was a curious, bookish girl who had just moved into her grandmother's old cottage after deciding to leave London behind. Tired of the noise and loneliness of the city, she sought a new beginning in the countryside. On her second morning there, she wandered to the meadow, guided by a memory her grandmother once shared, a tale of love letters hidden beneath the oak tree. Beneath the moss-covered roots, Emma discovered a rusted tin box. Inside were dozens of neatly folded letters, each dated between 1940 and 1945, signed by a man named Thomas and addressed to a woman named Lillian. The letters spoke of war, hope, poetry, longing, and an unshakable love. Each line pulsed with emotion, and Emma found herself returning day after day to read another one. Intrigued by the mystery and captivated by the romance, she began researching the couple. She learned that Lillian had lived in her very cottage, and Thomas had been a soldier in World War II. They were childhood friends who had fallen in love before the war pulled them apart. Thomas had promised to return, and the letters were his vow to keep their love alive. As Emma read on, she noticed that the last letter was never opened. It was dated August 1945. With trembling hands, she unfolded it, and tears welled in her eyes. It was Thomas's last letter, telling Lillian he had survived the war and was coming home to ask for her hand in marriage. But something didn't add up. Why had the letter never been opened? Driven by emotion, Emma spoke to the village's oldest resident, Mr. Alden, who told her that Thomas had died in a car accident on his way back home. Lillian, devastated, never married. She kept the unopened letter buried under the tree where they had first kissed. Emma was overcome with sorrow for the love that never had a chance to bloom. Yet, something stirred inside her, a strange comfort in knowing love like that could exist. One morning, as she sat beneath the tree, a man approached, holding a camera and sketchbook. His name was Andrew, an artist visiting from the city. They spoke for hours that turned into days, sharing stories, laughter, and quiet moments. As the seasons changed, so did their hearts. Emma showed him the letters, and together they restored them, eventually publishing a book titled The Letters Beneath the Oak Tree. Years later, under that same tree, Andrew knelt on one knee and offered Emma a ring. She said yes, tears in her eyes, beneath the branches that had once wept for lost love but now danced in the sunlight of new beginnings.